Guess we're once again at that part of the year where players are now reassessing their choices. Take for instance Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portugal legend returned to Man United, and the return was celebrated like anything. It was expected that the Red Devils will now be able to actually compete for top honours. Sadly though, that's not been the case, and the veteran forward is now considering a swift departure from Old Trafford. Manchester City have reached an agreement with River Plate for the transfer of a player who's definitely one to watch out for in the future. While Real Madrid are still interested in signing Erling Haaland, the Spanish giants are no longer sure whether they should make such a big money move for the Norwegian international. Tanguy Ndombele's nightmarish time in England could come to an end, with the return to Ligue 1 on the cards. Meanwhile, PSG are set to move for a Manchester City player who was hotly linked with a move to Barcelona a few months ago. We've got loads of things to talk about, so get ready for your daily dose of all things football. It's practically official. Very soon, Manchester City and River Plate should announce what could be one of the most significant transfers of the decade, at least if the player meets expectations. Julian Alvarez is likely to join the reigning English Premier League champions in the coming months. It's no longer about rumours from the British or Argentinian media, but about concrete facts. The president of River Plate, Jorge Brito, has simply confirmed the imminent departure of the top scorer in the Argentine Championship towards Manchester. He will remain on loan to River until July 7th, although there are possibilities that he will continue with us a little more if River is still in the Copa Libertadores next half, confirmed the leader of the Argentine club. He's practically a reinforcement for us. He's an irreplaceable player for the coach, added Brito. Pep Guardiola, who should have already been aware of the underside of the operation anyway, can therefore start rubbing his hands in glee, thinking about next season, since he will add to his already overstaffed squad a player who's destined for a career at the top. The citizens are also not going to spend a fortune, at least in view of current market prices, since Julian Alvarez has cost them only €21 million. One hell of a deal if he reaches the level that's expected of him, especially since practically all the big clubs of the old continent were already on his case. Enough to cover the departure of Ferran Torres during this winter transfer window and the probable sale of Raheem Sterling this summer. Alvarez is the sort of player that will excite fans for sure. The soap opera around the future of Tanguy Ndombele continues during this winter transfer window. This season, the French international has only played 9 Premier League games so far, for 1 goal and 1 assist. The situation doesn't look good for a player who's been more of a rotational option since joining Spurs from Olympique Lyonnais in the summer of 2019. Even if he didn't seem predisposed to a departure, the native of Longjumeau was first linked to Paris Saint-Germain, who had started contract negotiations with his entourage last week, before letting the two clubs discuss the terms of the transfer. However, the bulging workforce at Parc des Princes has blocked the arrival of the former Lyon man to PSG, who are not the only French club to be interested in him. Now, Lyon are also discussing with Tottenham for the return of the 25-year-old, who shone for them between 2017 and 2019. The midfielder is also not against the idea of returning to Lyon, which would be a great way out for him in order to get some much-needed playing time under his belt. Ndombele would prove to be a really big move for Peter Bosz, who has already had to say goodbye to Bruno Guimaraes, now at Newcastle. However, it remains to be seen whether the club president, Jean-Michel Aulas, will be able to offer Ndombele the same salary that he's already earning. Nonetheless, Ndombele will fit right in at Lyon, where he played 96 games, scored 4 goals and provided 16 assists. While Raheem Sterling has once again become a regular starter at Manchester City, the England international hasn't signed a new contract. His current deal runs until 2023, which creates a situation where he's become a player a lot of clubs are monitoring. The tide is definitely changing very quickly in football. Since his fall, Raheem Sterling has regained his starting place under Pep Guardiola. Taking advantage of injuries and the departure of Ferran Torres and the poor form of Gabriel Jesus, the English international has once again become essential in the starting 11 of Man City. His 9 goals and 3 assists in 27 matches in all comps are there to attest to that. Above all, he's no longer absent at all from his manager's starting lineup on match days. It's very simple. Apart from the 1-1 draw to Southampton last weekend, where he gave up his place at the hour mark, he started the last 9 league matches he's appeared in. A turnaround that benefits the player, but also his club, with City now willing to offer him a contract extension. This is something that was still unimaginable a few weeks ago. We were even talking about the forward going to Barcelona not so long ago, when Xavi put his bags down on the bench of the Catalan club. Still, the more time goes by, the more Sterling will be in a position of strength to negotiate with the City management. Negotiations won't take place before the end of the season, when he enters the last year of his contract, which amounts to saying either he extends by the summer or he leaves, because Manchester City won't want to see a player of his calibre go for free a year later. It's precisely due to that the clubs interested in the player are being very observant. Apart from Barcelona, Sterling is appreciated by the biggest clubs in Europe. ESPN says that Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain are very interested in the player, who's at his peak now. The media even suggests some probability that a transfer will take place, because Sterling would not be against an adventure abroad, and his relations with Guardiola alternate between hot and cold. Once again, Erling Haaland is making headlines in Spain, and especially in Madrid. Unlike bitter rivals Barcelona, Real Madrid are experiencing a rather calm winter transfer window, with no particular need to strengthen, and are mainly targeting players for the summer market. The names of Kylian Mbappe, Aurélien Tchouameni, and the Norwegian striker come up again and again. But the Daily AS reveals details that might disappoint Madrid fans a little bit, or at least those who wanted to see the Nordic cyborg at the Santiago Bernabeu. The management of Real Madrid is thus beginning to worry about the repeated physical problems of the Norwegian player. The media says that since October 2019, Haaland has already been injured 11 times, missing a total of 25 games. At the same time, Karim Benzema only missed 11. A little too many problems, especially muscular, which worries the leaders of Real Madrid a little bit, who believe that for a player who would cost so much, that's a lot. Risks that Los Blancos, however, seem ready to assume for now, since the media confirms that the Norwegian is still a real target for Los Blancos. But there is no doubt that they will closely scrutinise the evolution of his form and fitness during the second part of the season. According to reports in Spain, Cristiano Ronaldo has asked his agent, Jorge Mendes, to open dialogue with Real Madrid president Florentino Perez over a possible return to the club. The 36-year-old is reportedly eager to leave Manchester United after a very frustrating first half of the campaign. He scored 14 goals in 23 appearances since returning to Old Trafford from Juventus, but Ronaldo believes that he made a big mistake, and he had no idea how far his former club had fallen. Ralf Rangnick's side are 4th in the league standings, and qualifying for Champions League is definitely not going to be easy, with the likes of West Ham, Arsenal and Wolves all enjoying great form. El Nacional claims that Ronaldo will walk out for sure if United do not finish inside the top 4. In fact, Mendes has already got in touch with Perez. However, if Real Madrid don't entertain such a possibility, Paris Saint-Germain might want to give it a shot. The Parisians are always up for a big money deal and would definitely be considering the possibility of making both Lionel Messi and Ronaldo play in the same team for once in their careers. But then again, Ronaldo's preference is a move back to Spain, where he enjoyed the best days of his career, winning multiple League and Champions League titles and winning the Ballon d'Or as well. Ronaldo has also been very critical of his teammates in recent weeks, questioning their mentality. The system is useful, but not if the mentality is not there on the pitch. This is why I say we have a long way to improve, because, for me, the most important thing is for you to look at yourself and say, I can do better. I can help the team much more.